Hello and welcome to an Everyday Canines video. In this episode of Pup to Pro, we've got our substitute puppy, which is Swift, because Magpie was getting rather tired from the other videos we've done. And we're moving on our tunnel commitment and drive. So we showed you how you can get started. Now we want to take that thing to the next level. And we want to move this on quite quickly to encourage our dog to really want to seek out that tunnel, drive through it and drive out of it again. The big thing that tends to happen with tunnels is that the dog gets the idea of going through it, but they come out and look for the reward or the toy or whatever. So we need to make sure when we're rewarding the dog that the reward is always out there for them to get. So they're driving away and out for us. Once we start putting in other obstacles after it, that helps as well, of course. But at this stage, we're just working on a tunnel on its own. We're just making sure that they're going to power out. They're not going to turn around and look back at us until we need them to and when we ask them to. But at this stage, just been going straight for the tunnel. Okay, so what we want my dogs to do is we want our dog to power through that tunnel even if I'm not moving with them. I'm obviously going to be doing a lot of distance handling, but even if you're not, it's really handy to have a dog that will power through the tunnel without you having to run with them. Supposing I needed to be over there next, I don't want to have to go right up to that end of that tunnel. I want my dog to power through it. So what we're going to do, we're going to get our dog ready, and we're going to rev him up. Ready. I've got a harness on so I can pull that ready, and we're going to send it. Tunnel, get it! And I threw out so that she ran out to the toy. So we're going to do that. We want to do that on the opposite side. We'll do it again, and we're sending the dog in, throw the toy. Now, if you've done lots of the value, hopefully the dog will run straight through. If you have a problem, you can place your toy at the end of the tunnel where the dog can see it, but where it's not too far away, so they're not going to sort of go around the tunnel and get it, so that you can have them as a lure. But hopefully, just by getting your throwing arm good, you'll be okay. Okay, ready? Come here, Trouble. Ready. Tunnel, get it! It's there, madam. It's there, get it! There, what's that? Oh. Now, of course, you can always have a problem that your dog doesn't see where you've thrown the toy. So I'll try that again. Tunnel, get it! She was clearly not looking where I was throwing the toy. I'm going to say it was my bad aim. I'm a rubbish throw. I have to be really careful with that with Swift because it doesn't take many repetitions, failed repetitions of her looking back where she starts to look back all the time. I have to be really conscious. I make sure she drives out. That's just who she is. She's a very thoughtful dog. She likes to check in on me. So we have to work much harder on the driving forward and out. And I would say that in the past, I've not been so good at having that reward out there timely. And that has resulted in head checks. So it's something I'm working on. You know, it's just one of those things you analyse as a handler. Now, once we're getting them to drive away from us, what about drive towards us? So in this instance, we want to set the dog up in front of the tunnel. Now, I'm going to set her up quite close. Because it's a tunnel and she hasn't got to get a run up. If it's a jump or other obstacles, they have to get a run up to them. But she can be set up really close to the tunnel. That's not a problem because it's just a straight through. So I'm going to set her up close to the tunnel. Actually set you up even better than that. Break. Swift. Good girl. Wait. So she's right in the tunnel. And I'm going to go out here. Tunnel, get it! So now she's driving through that tunnel, and I would also point out she couldn't actually see me. Because of the way the tunnel's turned, she couldn't see me, and I didn't have my hand there, so she had to pick that up all by herself out of physical cue, apart from the fact she knew I was out there. Start. Good girl. So we do it again. She can't see me, but I'm going to say the words, and hopefully she'll drive straight through. Tunnel, get it! Good girl. Driving through, so she's driving towards me. Obviously, we can start to build that up into even more interesting with handling manoeuvres, but this is early stages. We're just building up confidence with the different way we handle. So, done a lot of static stuff. And when I'm teaching, I mainly do a lot of static stuff because I want dogs to be able to do stuff on their own without me having to commit my body to it. But we also do need to proof them to our body movement. Now, depending on how fast you run, you may not be that agile a runner, it doesn't matter. You just want to put in some form of movement, the best movement you can, when we're doing this next exercise to proof against movement. If we've done lots of stuff static and then we get on a course and we do start to move, sometimes that can throw the dogs and they go, you're doing something different to what we normally do. If you want to just stand in the middle and point, obviously you don't have to worry. But this time what I'm going to do is I'm going to set Swift up, I'm going to release her, and I'm going to run with her. So I'm going to be running past the tunnel as she goes. And I'm going to show you one thing that sometimes throws her, but it might not do it today, but we'll see it. But we'll try it this way first. This is what you're going to do. Set the dog up. I'm going to stand beside her. Actually, I'll just stand a little bit behind because I want her to get ahead. Ready? Tunnel, get it! And so she was slower there coming out the end. I'm not sure why that was. Bad throw, perhaps. So what I'm asking my dog is that you're running and I'm running with you and you're not pulling into that tunnel. Sorry, that you're going into the tunnel, not pulling towards me, because what can happen sometimes is the dog goes, you're running now, I need to run towards you, and they don't do the obstacle. So let's try something a little bit different. I'm going to be here. Now sometimes when I'm here and I ask her to do a tunnel, Swift doesn't get it. Tunnel, okay, get it. Good girl. She did that time. But sometimes if I'm running past a tunnel, she doesn't get it. So I'm going to really try and get her to fail so I can show you what to do, but she's probably not going to. So I'm really going to try and get to fail. She's set up a little bit further back. I'm going to start running. Tunnel! I can't get her to fail today. Sometimes though that will happen. Good girlie. You're very good. Where are you? So everything we're doing is about building value. You do the tunnel when I ask you to, no matter where I am. And then also that you do it both sides. I've done it mainly on this side for the camera, but you would do it on both sides. Just keep a record. Sometimes we get a bit more comfortable doing one side and then we become a bit obsessive about doing one side. Certainly I do. Then we forget to do the other side. So we can then find that our dogs have the behaviour better on one side of us than the other. And so we do this. One final reminder is that you only want your dog doing the tunnel when you've asked them to do the tunnel. If they do something like that, I'm not going to fret and worry about it, but I didn't ask for it, so I'm not going to reward it. I'm only going to reward when I ask them to do it. Pointing at a tunnel is not me asking them to do it. She's going to see if that works, but that doesn't. Only when I ask the cue, when I say, if I'm going to do that, I better put a bit of food if I'm going to do that. Helps. Don't be mean, Sophie. If I say the word, tunnel, get it, then she is allowed to do it. She does it, she'll get a value. If I'm just standing there nattering and she wanders for it, nothing. So I'm just shifting that value, so there's very little point. And you can see that even if when she chooses to do the tunnel, she does it slowly and thoughtfully and goes, did you want that? Because there's no value there. It's the diminishing value, putting the value into doing it when you do the tunnel. So if you're doing these games and your dog breaks its weight and it does the tunnel, okay, it has done the tunnel, but if you haven't asked for it yet, if you haven't said that word and allowed it to go, don't reward that. Don't get cross, just sit back up, start again. And if your dog keeps doing that and breaking it, then you need to just start closer and work further away. What we don't want is what people do. Oh, we did the tunnel, that's fabulous. I didn't ask for it, but it's fabulous. And the reward, and then you lose that consistency. You lose that understanding because the dog goes, well, sometimes I do the tunnel when she hasn't asked me to, and that's fine. And then sometimes I do the tunnel when she asks me to, and that's fine. So it doesn't matter if I have to wait for that word. And that's when it can cause problems in future. Good girl. So that is some more moving on with your tunnel work. And hopefully if you keep doing this, you're going to have a dog that's really epic at finding in tunnels. And we're going to do lots more work with tunnels in the future to show you how to really build up self-control and around tunnels and good drive and all the things you need for them. So I hope you've enjoyed this video, and if you have, you might subscribe to the YouTube channel, and you can check us out on Facebook and Instagram. And I hope to see you all again very, very soon.